Hello mates and Sheilas, welcome to Flavor Town. I'm your host, Joe Barbucio. We're out here in beautiful Australia, where I'm going to show you how to cook the famous Aussie meat pie. But before we get started, I'm going to tell you a little about the Australian beef industry. The Australian beef industry actually employs more than 200,000 people and is among the world's largest and most efficient producers of commercial livestock. Oh, hey there. Forgot to tell you, Australia is the world's third largest beef exporter at around 15%, right behind Brazil and India. The disease-free status and traceability of the Australian beef industry provides a competitive advantage. However, there is a social policy issue with beef in Australia. There are problems with live exporting to countries where the animals are not ethically killed for Australian standards. So, farmers are hurting because the government is banning export to those countries. Behind me, we have all the ingredients we'll need to cook our dish. First things first, we're gonna throw some oil in a pan and saute our diced onions. You guys are gonna wanna see this. We got our onion in the pan, sauteing, and we want to cook it till it's a nice golden brown color. And then we can mix in our meat. Now that we got our saute going, we're going to go ahead and add our beef. But before we do, just take a look at that. Listen to that. Listen to that sizzle. I'm excited for this one. Let's go ahead and add our beef. We're going to want to cook our beef until it's a nice brown color. And then we'll go ahead and add in our other ingredients. We got our beef looking great. Come check this out. Alright, now we're going to add in our ingredients. Calls for 3/4 cup beef broth. Here we go. Gotta add another 3/4 cup of ketchup. Heinz only, baby. Quality stuff. Now that we got that in there, we're gonna add 2 teaspoons of cornstarch. It's looking great already. And then we're gonna add a little bit of pepper. Sprinkle some of that on there. That was kind of a lot. A little oregano if you're feeling a little risky. And then maybe a little salt if you want. And then we're gonna mix it up. When you mix it up, you gotta really mix in that starch. Make sure there's no chunks left, because if you do, when you take a bite into it, it's gonna taste like kangaroo dung. But we're just gonna mix this up a little bit, and we'll be right back after this commercial.
Hi, welcome to Chili's.
Next, we're gonna do our egg wash. The first calls for 1 cracked egg. And then we're gonna whisk the egg until we get a nice egg to yolk ratio. Look at that. In the kitchen, wrist twisting like it's stir fry. And then, I don't have a brush, but when life gives you paper towels, you use them. So, I'm gonna go ahead and dip it and use the paper towels to generously coat the edge of our dough. And then next, we add in the meat. Right. Now that our beef is cooled down, we're gonna fill up our pie, our dough. You wanna add in a lot. First of all, we're making a big pie because we're feeding several people. Normally Aussie meat pies are quite smaller. But we want to fill it up evenly, an even spread, but not to all the way to the brim because we still have to add our top layer of dough. And also at this time, you guys can add anything else you like, carrots, cheese, whatever you want. But this is just the most traditional way of an Aussie meat pie. Okay, now that we got that on there, we're gonna go ahead and add our top layer of dough. That doesn't really want to cooperate with us. It's gonna be hard to get a grasp. I just want to cut. Sorry about that. We had some technical difficulties, but we performed some surgery on our dough, and now we're gonna add our egg to the top layer. Just gonna kind of put some on there, and then revisit our paper towel here. Kind of just mix it around. Don't worry about putting too much egg, because it's just gonna make a nice brown texture. But once you got it all covered, I'm gonna soak some of it up. Once you got it all covered, you want to poke some vent holes in it, so when it goes in the oven, it doesn't just pop up and get big. But as you see, we kind of already have a lot of holes in it from our difficulties. But alright, we're gonna go ahead and pop this beauty into the oven for 25 to 30 minutes. See you soon. So while that's sitting in the oven, I just want to talk to you guys a little more about the Australian beef industry. So as of June 30th, 2017, the Australian cattle herd was 26.2 million head. It's a lot of head. The gross value of Australian cattle and calf production, which includes live cattle exports, as we talked about earlier, in 2017 and 2018 was $11.4 billion. And a part of that $11.4 billion was a total of 2 million tons of beef that was exported. And Australian beef can be found in many places across the world, since it's the world's third largest exporter of beef. It's found in more than 100 countries. The top 3 export markets being Japan, the United States, and South Korea. And while Australia is a key player in international trade, the Australian domestic market remains the largest single market, consuming approximately 30% of the beef produced. Alright, pulling this bad boy out. Wow. What an absolute beauty. I'm stoked to eat it.